And we're broadcasting live here from the internet. And here's Zach Pfeffer. So what's going on?
Not a lot. How are you doing?
I'm doing very fine here in Copenhagen in the middle of the night.
I guess so. What are you doing in Copenhagen?
That's the thing. I thought there was the Linaro conference, but I was looking around, I was asking people, and they told me it's already over.
Well, yeah, you know, the internet has this thing called these web pages, and we put all the information on these web pages that you can access. And you don't have to go to Copenhagen to figure that out. You can actually just type in connect.linaro.org and find out all of the great dates and times that will be there.
But I've been looking around, and some of the people, for example, the bus driver was telling me that actually it was really awesome.
No, he wasn't.
No,
we weren't that loud.
No, you weren't that loud. Were you partying every day?
No. We were quiet and reserved, and just sat in our hacking rooms all the time and worked on stuff.
So let's just introduce Linaro a little bit. Like, you're kind of like revolutionizing the whole world, right?
Oh, I think that's pushing it a little bit. But you know, Linaro's mission is to improve the ARM open source ecosystem. So to the extent that that changes the world, we're doing that. And I think that the work that we're doing is important because ARM is such a diverse ecosystem, and people are able to do, you know, anything and everything, create SoCs of almost infinite variety, and we have to write software that runs on those SoCs, and we want to run the Linux kernel on those SoCs, and so having such diverse SoCs means that you need to have dynamically reconfigurable kernels, dynamically pass, you know, information about what the SoC looks like to the kernel, and work to maintain enablement across a whole completely different classes of ARM SoCs. So, you know, if you've got an interrupt controller of a particular type included in one SoC, you know, you only want to have one bit of code that deals with that type of interrupt control, and ditto for clocks and DMA and so on and so forth. So, if you're still listening to this and haven't clicked off,
there's no reason to click off. This is like. This is like the whole Reddit. You know, the whole Reddit website is exploding right now, I think. Like,
yeah.
To this hangout. I mean, all the
Kyle.
people on the XDA developer, they're like following every move, right? Your every move. They're analyzing everything. I mean, is that what's going on?
Yeah, I think so.
Kyle, I've never met you before. I'm Zach Pfeffer. What do you work on?
The ROMs for Galaxy Nexus, and I'm also an IT guy for Bright House.
Hey,
Bright
Kevin,
House.
what's up? Are you on the airplane?
Someone's in an airplane. He's in an airplane!
I'm on a train.
You're on
Are
a
you in a
train.
Are there trains in the US?
No, not here.
It's a bit noisy. No, very few.
So Kevin, do you know about Linaro?
I'm a bit noisy. I should probably mute. About which?
Do you know about Linaro, Kevin?
You know, I don't know what that is. No.
Linaro is
What's that?
like re-optimizing Linux and ARM. It's they're making a version of Android that's much faster than Google's version.
Really?
Well, isn't it?
Ah, that sounds clever.
Can you say, Zach?
Sounds like a good idea.
Can you say, Zach, how is the latest Linaro Android faster than Jelly Bean?
Well, depending on what benchmark you run, you can show it to be faster depending on what you run. It's worth it to say that the speed ups come mainly because we compile Linaro Android. We compile Android with GCC 4.7, and we also have a few improvements to the native libs that allow for improved string routines on various ARM architectures. And so to the extent that benchmarks actually exercise those code paths, they can be shown to be percentages faster depending on what it is. So yeah, it can be faster. What's that?
So if it's coded correctly, it can be faster.
Well, if not necessarily coded correctly, it's just so since we're putting together Android platforms that are compiled with tip GCC, whereas Android may be back a GCC version, you're picking up any and all optimizations that were integrated in GCC during in that upgrade. So you're picking those up. Plus, you're picking up any additional architectural optimizations that you may be able to include in our builds that you wouldn't necessarily get from AOSP.
It's called ASOP?
Yeah, the official Android, right?
Yeah.
The Android open source project, AOSP.
So how much of Linaro code has AOSP taken in?
We've got, if you search for Bernhard Rosenkranzner, and he's all over the Linaro.org website if you want to see how to really spell his name, since I'm not pronouncing it correctly. He's pushed a lot of changes to Google that essentially prepare the Android code base for future versions of GCC while still maintaining compatibility with their current GCC. And a lot of those are to solve strict aliasing problem or strict aliasing compilation issues, and really just kind of a general tightening up of the code base for newer versions of GCC. We've also pushed in optimized versions of optimized string routines for various ARM architectures, and those are in various states of approval.
So that way it runs on more things?
Not necessarily that it runs on more things, but it runs better on architectures that are up and coming at ARM. So you might not. So for example, the new Nexus 10 tablet that just came out is based on an Exynos 5 from Samsung, and the Exynos 5 is an example of an A15 ARM architecture. And so what you could do, for example, is you could take AOSP, compile it for the Nexus 10, add Linaro's improvements, and you may see a performance boost because we would have improvements targeted specifically for A15.
So how much optimization can be done on the Samsung Exynos 5?
Actually, I think, did Kevin have a question, or Kevin's gone?
Oops.
Oh well. That's the thing about these hangouts, you know. It's hard to see people coming and going.
Yeah. This one, I'm actually on my Galaxy Nexus in my house.
Right. So
Yeah.
we've got a build for that. I can post that in a channel. We have a Android build for the Galaxy Nexus right here. Yeah, you can take advantage of a Linaro build. It's a pre-built build. Let me paste that into the channel. There you go.
Just like Like a ROM?
What's
Or
that?
what do you do with it? Do you flash it like a ROM, or you got Odin?
Yeah, we have all the installation instructions. Everything is posted, and then we also have test results for it.
Sweet.
Yeah,
so right here I have the Cortex A15 Chrome OS, the Chromebook.
yeah, that's a cool device.
This is the coolest laptop ever in the whole history of humans, which is kind of impressive.
That's actually probably a true statement.
So awesome. It's so fantastic. But what I'm wondering is, they advertise 6.5 hours battery life. Do you think that if the Chrome OS takes more advantage of, let's say, the Mali T604 GPU, that they might be able to prolong the battery life later? Do you have any ideas about that?
Hey, Kevin's back. Welcome back, Kevin.
Hey, Kevin, please talk if you want to say some stuff.
He's lost now.
Hey, Kevin, what do you think about the open source Android revolution? Oh, you are listening. You can't hear us. Yeah, there's bad internet on the train, I guess.
Kevin thinks it's awesome.
But did you have any idea about if they might or might not be able to do you have any idea if they're using the Mali graphics yet on a Chromebook?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm almost positive they are, because you wouldn't be able to get the graphics performance with software only graphics. So yeah, absolutely.
They're totally using it right now in the browser, but they could maybe use it much more, or?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't looked at the Chrome OS stack, so I can't say definitively. But from what I've heard of, they are making use of the Mali graphics core, and so yeah. Doing graphics optimization is a tricky business these days. The hope is that we ultimately make it easier and more accessible to do graphics optimizations, but to maintain market share, to maintain a competitive advantage, most of the graphics enablement is actually done and distributed in a binary form, a so-called binary blob. And that makes it hard to work with to actually get the kind of, for anybody that does not have access to the source behind that binary blob, to be able to make power improvements. And it makes it hard to do system-wide power improvements, because what invariably happens is that
somebody's doing an echo. Hey, Cal. You're echoing.
You're muted. I got it on my computer too.
But Zach is still there?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about this idea? Let's say Ubuntu is coming on Android. That's kind of like announced by Canonical, right? Does that in any way slow down Ubuntu compared to just Ubuntu on Ubuntu, if you know what I mean? Like just only Ubuntu on the device, or having Ubuntu on top of Android? Do you know what might be going on there?
Yeah, well, I mean, it kind of depends on... So, to the extent that you can do Ubuntu on Android, where you're actually reworking Ubuntu to take advantage of, to be written against the Android API so that it's an app, essentially.
It's a what, did you say?
To the extent that Ubuntu would be implemented as essentially an Android app, you know, I don't think it slows it down because it's not going through a virtualization layer. I don't know if they're planning on doing virtualization. I think there is a little bit of virtualization in the X to Surface Flinger area, so that might be a little bit slower. Because anytime you're passing through a layer of virtualization, you're gonna slow down. Which isn't 100% true depending on how you do the virtualization, but you know it's one of those blatant statements, right? So, so the long answer to your short question is that I think that people will get a usable and good experience running Ubuntu on Android, and more to the point, I think that sort of use should be encouraged. I don't think that there's anything. I mean, if you want to be able to run Ubuntu on your phone, you should be able to do that, and you should be able to, you know, make a phone call from Ubuntu. You should be able to really kind of host your own distribution on an Android platform. And I believe Google has been fairly has a fairly what do I want to say, enlightened view of the universe where they actually allow that sort of thing to happen on their platform. Because they could have very well not like cell phone operators did and Nokia did for the whole history of mobile phones up until Android hit the scene.
So it might be that the next version of Android might allow for these kinds of OS on top of Android to be like smoother and faster, and maybe 100% eventually. Wouldn't it be awesome if there was Chrome OS on top of Android too?
Yeah, I mean, I think. I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot. What do you think, Kyle? Do you think that would be awesome?
Yeah, anything in Chrome OS I think is awesome. I recommend Chrome OS to a lot of people at work every day because I mean, old people that don't know how to use anything but the browser, it's perfect. Like Charbox over there.
What do you do, Kyle?
I'm an IT guy for Bright House. So I do that, and then I mess around with some ROMs and stuff like that, but nothing serious.
So is this the Bright House that I'm googling it? Bright House TV, internet,
phone,
networks.
Yep.
Okay. Where do you guys or where do you guys deliver service?
Florida. Well, they're all over the place, but it's Time Warner Bright House. So anywhere Time Warner Bright House is, Florida.
Oh, okay.
It's a wide variety. I'm in Florida, so I know Florida, Georgia, Carolinas, all those type of things. New York.
Nice.
So they're widespread.
Yeah, totally.
Can you send that link over again? I'm on the computer trying to pull it up.
Oh, sure. I was just wikiing it.
So
there you go.
In Florida and in Austin, the whole year you need the thing turning around above your head.
What thing?
Is that? Yeah.
Was that? Yeah.
It's hot. It's always hot.
Oh, the fan?
It's always
hot. It's kind of funny. Let me turn this microphone on.
There we go. All right. Yeah, it's always hot. It was like 30 degrees just recently, or not 30. I'm sorry, like more like 50, and we all thought it was cold.
50 degrees.
That's cold to us.
You got to convert that into centigrade, though. Charboz is in Europe right now.
I have no idea what you're talking about the 50 degrees.
Yeah, it's Fahrenheit.
Let's see,
man.
what is that in Sarah? That's 10. That's 10 degrees.
At least you drive on the left side of the road, so you're not
No way.
completely insane.
Hey, Zach, can you send the link? Can you send the link for the ROM thing, the one you're talking about, not the Bright House deal?
Oh, yeah. Here you go.
My phone wouldn't pick it up, but I'm gonna bring it up on my computer.
There you go.
I don't know if we can show this in the somehow in the. I don't know how it works to show it inside the Hangout so people can see the link, but I'll just post it in the description of the YouTube video. All right.
I can add an app. I can. Here's what I'll do. I'll do this.
Do you see it right there?
All right. So there's lots of things happened this week. ARM totally dominates over Intel. That's one of the stories. That's not really a story, but it's funny that it's not funny. I mean, I don't know. Is it funny that the Intel CEO is leaving? I think it's funny. You don't have to say anything if you don't want to say it.
No, it's not funny. AMD is.
AMD what? Are you saying something?
AMD is ARM's also going to take over AMD.
Who's taking over AMD? Yeah, they're coming over on the ARM.
That's what I mean. Yeah, if the ARM comes out completely, if it will, and be bigger than AMD and Intel, take over everything. I'm pretty sure the biggest thing in ARM is that you can use it for any OS almost, and the battery life is better on it. I ran Android on my laptop at one point in time just to test it, and I've got 13 hours of battery life when normally I'd get like 8 or 7 with the
Yeah, your microphone is a little bit strange, but we could understand what you said, I think.
Yeah. Get on my Galaxy next.
So who else wants to say something? There's 2 Kyle Heisers here in the chat.
Yeah, one's my computer and one is me.
Does your computer want to say something? No? Not yet. I guess maybe next year with the AI.
Yeah, Google. I'll just Google now everything.
So hopefully, I mean, I was really amazed when I saw this. I was at the ARM TechCon, and the whole thing was about the ARM Chromebook and the Nexus 10, and the Cortex A15 isn't actually being selling in devices. It's completely insane that it's going so fast. So at Linaro, are you playing around with the Arndale board?
Yes, we are playing around with the Arndale board. We're bringing them into our Lava automated test infrastructure, and we'll be having builds for them and running tests on them. So it should be pretty cool.
But the Exynos 5, the first version that's out on the market, is not a big little, right? So does that mean it uses more power as the previous Cortex A9 devices that were on the market, like quad-core and all that?
I think it kind of depends. I haven't seen the power numbers at all, so I'm not sure whether it uses more or less. I'd probably guess that for its use case, it uses it's been optimized for its use case.
So because the laptop really, I mean, they've been waiting about the ARM-powered Chromebook. I guess they've been waiting all this time because they want the performance from the Cortex A15. And this is so fantastic. I use it as my main laptop. I do all my video blogging on there. Just put the SD card in. I upload all my videos to YouTube, and I do video editing on YouTube. There's no problem with this. This can run everything, and I have a big Chrome sticker. It's very cool. This is mass market ARM-powered Linux for laptops and desktops, and it's coming. And it's thanks to Google again. These Google guys, they're very cool.
Yeah.
What do you think, Evan? Evan Brody.
Well, yeah, it looks interesting. I looked at a Chromebook at the store. It looked pretty good. I was actually looking also at the Lenovo makes a machine called the Twist that you can rotate the screen on the top, and so it can become a tablet. So it's very large. It runs Windows 8, and it was a chance to see what Windows 8 is like. But the Chromebook, it looked really pretty neat. I think the idea of these small devices that boot quickly, that's the big thing, especially without the overhead of installing and the way software can be.
Yeah. What device are you using right now for this Hangout?
Actually, I'm using a phone. It's the Samsung Stratosphere. It's a cell phone. It's actually a member of the Galaxy S1 family, so it's only single core, but it has a keyboard which I like. This is actually my very first Hangout, so I'm trying out how it works with video conferencing.
I think it works awesome.
What do you
Single
think,
core
Evan?
Cortex A8, you're smooth.
Oh, okay. I knew you'd be an expert on which chip.
Hey, can you turn can you turn the camera and like what you call it horizontally?
Oh yeah, sure. I'm sorry. Yeah, like this.
Let's see what happens. Then you
Oh yeah, that's
there
it.
you go.
broadcastable. Oh, there's a Windows logo over there. What's it doing? Are you updating to Windows 8?
No, I'm not doing any Windows now.
So what do you do, Evan?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I work with computers, but I mean, I just sort of joined the
It's
Hangout
locked.
because it seemed interesting.
Do you hack computers?
No. I work for them. I have a job with a company with databases, so it's kind of boring. But I'm interested in technology. I find it very interesting and exciting. So I mean, I use an Android device to stay in touch. And we got a Windows 8 machine that Lenovo Twist just for the household, just to try it out.
So supposedly Google there's lots of things going on with Google. There's some rumors about Dish and Google working together, making new carrier. Would you like that in the US? Would that be cool if they actually did it?
I think it would be good if it adds competition. It's hard to say if it would be successful. There's so many other factors with companies and monopolies and pricing. Verizon and AT&T are very strong, and it's difficult even for Sprint and T-Mobile to succeed, even though they have good products and good pricing.
So what I think is going on is that Dish already bought some spectrum, but not very much. I think it's just a little bit, but it's quite good spectrum. So it might be useful for data and stuff like that. And if Google combines that with the white spaces that are coming out on the 700 megahertz, in theory, they could cover the whole world with very cheap bandwidth and good bandwidth. That would be awesome. And they should do it. I mean, who else should do it? Who else can do it?
I think it would be good as a carrier. There was talk at one point they were going to buy, they call the dark fiber, the unused fiber optic lines. That there were a lot of extra ones when the .com bubble burst, and they were going to buy a lot of that capacity and then maybe become a carrier. But then I had not heard much. And then the fear might even be here that in the United States, if they came out as their own carrier, would other carriers be frightened of them the way other cell phone manufacturers might have been frightened in the beginning when they bought Motorola? So they might need to reassure carriers, you can sell an Android phone, we're not going to compete against you.
Yeah. So I'm not very good host. I'm just saying yeah. What do you think about this? The guy, McAfee guy, he's trying to escape the military in some kind of country somewhere, Belize or something. Do you think there's need for antivirus like McAfee and Norton and all that when you have Android, when you have embedded Linux, and when you have all these super secure Linux OS? I guess all these businesses are like Windows only, no?
I think it still might be necessary to scan for signatures. If an OS is stronger, it may be less likely you can have problems. It may not have ActiveX, but I think unfortunately there will always be a chance for malware, even if it's a dumb set-top box, not dumb, but a set-top box which is not programmable. There might still be the risk someone could go to a malware site thinking that they're going to a legitimate site.
What do you think, Zach? Do you have antivirus software at Linaro?
We actually, well, we run pretty much off of Google services, and I run on Ubuntu. We pretty much run off of various Linux distributions, so we don't tend to use antivirus software.
It's kind of sad for virus developers, no?
Oh, I don't know. It's probably great for them. I mean, they've been having to deal with Windows and having to, it's the same sort of buffer overflow attacks and rootkit injections and those sorts of things. And I think Linux is a is a good target. There's a lot. There's probably some great great technical challenges to overcome when building a Linux virus. So I'm sure they're psyched about it.
So Android is not 100% secure.
Hey, Zach, do you know which?
What's that?
Go on, Kyle.
Yeah, go ahead, Kyle.
Oh, I got a question about the Galaxy Nexus you sent me, the ROM.
Yeah.
Is it? Do you know which version is it for? Is it for the GSM version? It is.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, it should be for the whatever the AOSP,
Okay. It says,
whatever the AOSP version is. So yeah.
So, Zach, what kind of things were you doing at this time of the day? Are you actually working?
I got CDMA.
Yeah, it's probably not going to work for your CDMA version. Just for the GSM unlocked Nexus. What am I doing right now? I'm working. I've got a couple of things. We're working on some new projects, and I'm doing some planning, making getting things for people to do. So
You filling out the to-do list?
Yeah. I spend a lot of my time filling out various to-do lists. So I say, okay, well, you need to do this thing, and then you need to do this thing, and then I check with them and say, oh, did you do this thing? And okay, well.
And everybody at Linaro works over the internet.
Yeah, we all work from home.
It's pretty.
So we use Google Hangouts, we use IRC, we use chat, we use conference lines when we need to. So, yeah.
Cool. Evan, what are you thinking about? What's the biggest thing that's happening right now?
First hangout. I'm just sort of taking it in a little bit. It's interesting, the technology, how across the world people can communicate this way, with small devices and large devices, and just the whole process is just pretty fascinating.
Yeah, you're using like a 2-year-old Android device, and your video looks better than my Logitech HD webcam thing.
Well, maybe the secret is low quality, so that way there's less data.
Yeah, it's like the Instagram of web chat. So that's the hangout. Maybe we should finish the hangout, I guess.
Okay, well, thank you.
Or at least end this broadcast. So thanks for joining the hangout.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Thanks, Zach.
Always good to chat with you, man.
And have fun working.
Yeah, I will do. Got to reinvent the future of ARM on Linux. So takes a lot of late nights.
Please speed it up, like 2 or 3 times faster. Just in the next few months, okay? Like 2 or 3 months, and then after that, I don't know what's going to happen.
I can have a vacation.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, man, it's great talking to everybody here. Thanks for chatting. And,
thank you.
See you, Kyle, and see you, Ivan.
See you guys.
Bye.